Welcome back everyone, and thank you for joining me. If you've been following along on the Instagram and the Facebook page, you'll have seen that I am starting to acquire parts for a bike build that's coming up. One of the themes that I'm trying to stay with the bike and all the parts are options and adjustability. Because of that, we're going to take a look at today's product, which is the E13 Vario seat post and lever. Let's not waste any more time. Let's open up these boxes. Let's see what it's all about. Let's start off with the Vario dropper lever. As you can see, it is a 1x system shifter style lever. Let's get some close-ups of this. We have an aluminum construction body. It is a little bit bigger than most other dropper levers, but it is a very stout, very high quality construction. It comes with a standard handlebar clamp on there with 3 positions to change how far inboard or outboard it is from your hand grip. If you take this mount off, these are matchmaker compatible to try to match up to some of the more popular drivetrains out there. Your regular cable slack adjustment. Pretty much every dropper lever has that on it. Underneath, where it's a little bit different, is with this screw right here, which uses a 3mm Allen head. You can adjust the starting point of where the lever's at to help it match up better to how your hand fits on the bike instead of just being set with how the factory decided. The lever here actuates on a bearing, so it's nice and smooth. This is not a bushing, so this is a sealed ball bearing in there to give you nice consistent feel, and it has a built-in spring to help return the cable. What I also like is that the cable routes up high onto the lever, so you get a nice cammed action there, so it has a long lever pull, long cable pull to it, and it secures itself with using a 3mm Allen head bolt instead of some of the other ones where they're down to like the 1.5 and 1mm Allen head. Very easy to strip out and over torque. So this one allows plenty of pressure. The lever itself, very long, and comes with grip tape on it for a very, very nice feel, barehanded. So I guarantee with gloves, that's going to feel great also. And one thing to keep in mind is that inside the box for the lever is the cable you need. So don't just open the box up and throw it out. You're going to need this. This lever has a claimed weight of 73 grams. Let's see what our scale says. And yeah, we're holding steady right at 70. This scale doesn't go all the way down to individual grams, so that's as close as we're going to get to verify. Also, keep in mind that with the Vario lever, that you do not have to be using the Vario seat post to use this. If you're using any dropper seat post that routes the cable from the seat post and clamps it up on the lever, you could use this one as an upgrade to your whatever lever you're using if you don't like it, be it odd positioning, bad cable pull, bad feel. Not all of them are the highest quality, depending on what lever you got, and this could be a solid upgrade for you. In this box is the E13 Vario Infinite Dropper Seat Post. Actually can't really do much of a close-up because it doesn't fit in the screen. So why I went with this seat post is on the frame I'm going to be getting using modern geometry, I don't know exactly how much seat post and drop I'll be able to use. Modern frames are coming with, longer reach, steeper seat angles, and they're also coming with shorter built-in frame heights for the seat post because they're all made to use very long dropper seat post. But I don't know exactly how much I'm going to need. So that's why I went with this seat post. This one is adjustable between 150 and 180 millimeters. That's right, you don't have to choose one length with this seat post. You can adjust it in 5mm increments from a total stroke of 150 up to 180 to make sure that you can get the most drop available on your frame without it being too high and not being able to reach the pedals. And we're going to show you how to do that in just a little bit. Let's get some close-ups of this so you can see the graphics and the build quality. The E13 Vario dropper post. Starting at the top, we have a forged head, and you can see that there is plenty of room with the shortened top clamp to be able to move your seat fore and aft on your bike depending on how you need to set the reach up. You can see in the bottom here the gradient marks. There is plenty of room to adjust the seat angle if you have a modern steep seat or kind of a classic laid back seat post. What I like that they did here on the clamp is they gave you plenty of angle on the bolts. This way you can get in there with regular hand tools and be able to adjust the seat post and clamp it down tight without running into a clearance issue like I've seen on some other models where the front bolt is straight up and down and you can't get a regular handheld tool in there. One thing to keep in mind, this uses a T25 Torx fitting. This is not an Allen head, so don't mistakenly jam one in there and end up stripping the threads out. Moving down, you can see here they have the graphic and the travel mark on the seat post of what overall length drop it is set at. Right now you can see it is set at 180, and it has markings for 180, 175, etc. down to 150 millimeters. Good quality aluminum seat post collar with knurl marks, so you can grab it by hand and make sure that it's tight when you're on the trail, or take it off and adjust your seat. And on the main body itself we have a two-tone flat black shiny black graphic, and down here is the actuator. Looks like it's a nylon plastic unit. Let's unscrew this. And there's the bottom of the gas cartridge, and that's how it actuates, by pushing on that little button. Now, this isn't the bike that this seat post is going to be installed on permanently. I'm just using it for the demonstration. In the dropper post box, you get these directions. And if you follow these, you should be able to adjust the height of the seat, the overall stroke of the seat post very easily. E13 is claiming if you just drop the post, unthread the collar, change the bushing, figure out what travel you want, put the bushing back in, tighten the collar, it's all finished, and it's set that easily. Usually when adjusting the travel of something, that's usually an internal adjustment and you have to open it up. They're claiming it's a fairly easy process. Let's dive in and see exactly how easy this is. Step 1, we're going to drop the post a little bit. Step 2, unthread the collar. It does have nice knurling marks on here, so you can get it by hand. If you can't unscrew this by hand, do not grab it with pliers. Get something like a strap wrench. You do not want to crush this. It is aluminum, but it's not very thick, and if you grab on here with like channel locks or vice grips, you know who you are. Some of you tried it. You'll ruin this. So do it by hand or with a strap wrench. Okay, we're going to slide the bushing all the way, or slide the collar all the way up. Okay, let me zoom in here, and so you can see there is marks around the threaded portion that tell you what the travel heights are. I cleaned off the grease that's in there so you can see it, so I'll have to add that back once I finish up. Once you lift the collar all the way up, you can see these markings. And you probably can't read those on camera, but they say 150, 160, 165, 170, 175, and 180. And those are the markers that you're going to have to line up to choose the travel. Now, this bushing right here, there's two little marks on each side. That is where the guide bushings run. That's also where you can stick your fingers in and lift up. Now, on this bushing, you can see all the stepped marks on there. That is for the guide bushings to seat into, and that's how you restrict or adjust your travel. And this white line here is the one that you line up with your chosen amount of travel. So we had it on 180. Let's take it over here and seat it right down in to 150. And there is little teeth and notches here. You want to make sure you get those all set up. And then tighten up your collar. Make sure it's on there good and snug. You don't need to over tighten it. You don't need to gorilla grip this. And if we hit the actuator lever, yeah, you don't see any more of the graphic on there because now it is restricted to 150 millimeters. If we needed to change it back, drop the seat post a little, undo the collar, lift up the bushing, line it up with the 180 millimeter mark, make sure it is seated all the way in, lower the collar, snug it down all the way, and now the graphic is back indicating 180 millimeters. Now that you saw how to change the adjustment between the different travel lengths, you may be wondering why you would need this. And like I mentioned before, modern frames are coming with shorter overall seat posts built into the frame. So they're made to run the longer drop, and you might not know exactly what length drop you need. Also, even things as changing your shoes, changing what pedals you have, and changing what seat you're using can change the overall distance between your foot in the bottom position of pedaling and the overall height of where your butt sits. So having that few millimeters of adjustment in between your ideal height might be perfect and might be what you need to really keep your bike dialed in the way you want it. The seat post itself retails for $209. It is available right now in 31.6 and 30.9 diameters. They do have it in two optional overall lengths, 120 to 150, and then another version in 150 to 180, which is what we have here. The Vario lever can be purchased separately for $49.99, and that could make a good addition to your existing seat post if you do not like the existing lever. We're going to have more parts coming up as this build moves along and things come in, so be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Instagram, and follow the Facebook page to stay up to date with what I have coming up. Thanks for joining me. Maybe we'll get the ride together.